On the officiating side, just an awareness, education piece where kids could have the opportunity to immerse themselves in the knowledge and then getting them out there in the experience of making calls, whether they're the right calls or the wrong calls, and then learning from those opportunities of, like today in class we saw, some students be like, I don't know what to call. And I put them in the volleyball situation, and there might not be a volleyball official, but that awareness, the openness, and at the the final or the best takeaway would have been, hey, in 5-6 years or now, we have a couple students already officiating that we've produced a few officials as a result of our time with them in a semester course. I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes after that, we'll bring you back in and start talking about and getting you organized for officiating.
Coming in, it was a new course this year, so I didn't really know what to expect, but Mr. Staus talked it up to me and told me it was a really good course, and especially because I'm a big athlete, so I want to be a coach in my future. So he just thought it would be good for me to get introduced to all this, and then the refereeing aspect was interesting, and it's new, and it opened my eyes to that, because if coaching's not my path, then refereeing could be.
But can we get half of them to at least think about it? Can we get a quarter of them to try it? And can maybe that quarter continue on, at least get their feet wet outside of here, and for me, provide them opportunities and avenues. One of the things we do is I try to steer them towards the organizations that they are passionate in terms of volleyball, whether it's basketball, WIBL, or in officiating soccer. Where are those beginning grassroots, so to speak, starting licensing requirements in sports? So providing them those opportunities, and the WIA does a good job too of providing education links and things where they can get started. So can we give them that, and then can they get going and give them an experience here, uncomfortable experience, because can they be prepared to do some of that?
So yeah, I just got done officiating the volleyball game. I thought it was really interesting, and it's a lot harder than it looks. That's for sure. You got to really pay attention to what's going on all around the court to make the right call.
In sport, we don't have enough officials. I mean, I'm on the soccer, just because of my soccer coaching and my two kids officiating. Every day I have a list. It doesn't fit on my computer screen as to how many games we need filled. So if youth sport is going to continue, and it's just not soccer, it's just not basketball, it's every sport. We have a shortage of officials. I mean, here at Arrowhead, we're continuously short of officials, or we don't have officials. That would be my recommendation to sell a course like this, so to speak, but just the overall intangibles that it gives our kids. I mean, to be advocates for themselves, to make calls, to put themselves out there, to earn some money. I don't know if you can't really find, besides athletics, that coaching and officiating does all of that for our youth. And that was the way that, our board was unanimous as this course.
It was nerve-wracking, my first time officiating anything. Also volleyball, I don't play it. That was a little nerve-wracking, but it was easy to get into, and then I knew what I was doing as I got into the flow of it, and I got more comfortable going through it.
Well, I have some really close friends that are my neighbors, and they, ever since I think freshman year, he's a senior now, about to graduate. He referees, officiates baseball, and he was telling me how they make really good money, and he also told me how there's a shortage of referees, which obviously plays into the amount of money he's getting. And he told me that he really does enjoy it, because every time he has a game, he's like, yeah, we got a game, or sometimes it rains and he gets really frustrated about it. So I could see that if basketball doesn't work out, I think for sure later in life I could see myself refereeing basketball, or if maybe I had kids and they played a different sport, maybe their sport, like baseball or volleyball even.
Is there something else that follows that? Communication. So last hour I said, if a person that can't hear, right? My grandma was 93, she couldn't hear. If she's watching the game, can she know what you're calling and whose ball it is because of your signaling and what your body language is, all right? So after I call it out, their ball, If you're at the line, I'm going to have you run the game, obviously. I'm going to have you keep score, so it's going to be 5 serving 3. You're going to blow the whistle in a short burst whistle. Mr. Simon gave a good lecture on whistle-age, if that's a word, last hour. All right, so if it's a really passive, weak whistle, first of all, you can't get their attention. You appear to not have confidence. If you're in charge, you're the authoritative figure, you gotta act like it, right?
Well, when I first got into the class and for officiating, I really didn't think it would be that much fun, but as it went throughout the semester, it turned out to be really fun, especially with the kids in the class and how supportive and how motivating they are.
Going into it, I wasn't very confident with it just because I'm not really confident with the rules of volleyball. But definitely as we kept going, I felt more confident in it because it was just an experience that I needed, but it was a fun time.
Making sure, getting the word out, promoting, we spent a semester, almost a year of telling the kids a year ahead of time, and we're thinking of doing this, what would you be interested in a course like this? And it was a unanimous yes from the kids. Here at Arrowhead, we have a ton of kids that are in sports activities clubs and outside of the normal traditional walls of the school. So I'd find out, and I'd be shocked any high school, middle school across the United States would not have a need for that or want that. Here we're blessed with a lot of kids, and we have 4 sections. Other schools, I know they have 1 section, or we're a bigger, larger school. So that would be my first recommendation. And then doing some research, reaching out to people like you, what's the curriculum going to look like? We use the American Sport Education Program on the coaching side of things. We've brought in you guys, a ton of guest speakers. We've done our research in terms of our curriculum development too. I'd have that lined up to tell and to your board, your school board. And then I'm a big proponent of linking into the community too. How can I use it here? We have Arrowhead Basketball Club, we have soccer clubs, we have volleyball clubs, we have AMSAC, which is our grade school feeder schools that come into Arrowhead. Our kids are officiating and coaching in both of those. So that community connection, the curriculum piece, and then just the need for it is there as well.
When I came into this class, I knew officiating was something I was interested in because I am an athlete, and so having passion for a game, I want to be able to help other people with that same passion. So definitely something I was interested in, something that I've looked into but wasn't really sure how to get into it, but now I'm having a better understanding of that.
Being out there longer, I gained more confidence, and the first time I blew the whistle, I was like, was that the right call? Even though I knew it was, but just being more confident and knowing that, I'm making the right call, and if they question me, I'm in the right spot. I'm fine.
Taking this class was the first time I did officiating. I've never tried it before on my own, so this was a new experience, and I think it's really fun and interesting.
Yeah, being that advocate, they get questioned, and you're questioned. Usually it's not, if they're just getting started in their first year or 2 years of officiating, it's usually an adult questioning them. Now, how do you handle that conversation? And you guys have some publications on that do a great job of how do I handle that confrontation? The reflective piece. How did I do today? Was I prepared? Did I look professional? Did I do my job? And I walk away from teaching today. Did I do my job as an official? Were you on your game? Or even if you weren't, did you try to be? Where did you find energy? Or where did you, your level of focus? Did you get wrapped up into the game and watching and appreciating it? I did that today as I was trying to watch our students. I'm like, oh, this is a beautiful game going on, and I lost sight of officiating, helping the officials. And so how all of those skills, whether they're going to college, whether they're going into the workforce, whether they're going to be a father or a mother, I don't know where else you can find those.